That's okay.
Good morning and welcome. You are with the Skeinz Diaries, and it is all go here in the office today. My mate behind me is on the phone, and behind the wall of the great wall of boxes. And you are having. I hope you're having a great day. It is the 8th of August, episode 184, I think. I know. I don't know where they're all going. I don't know where the year is going, to be brutally honest with you. So welcome along. I hope if you're in the South Island, it is you're not snowed in. I hear that there's a bit of the white stuff around, and I'm hoping that everyone had a great weekend knitting. So welcome along. I'm actually got a new setup. In a sense, I've been given a second screen, so I've got one here and I've got one there. It was very exciting. I came to work literally last week, and there it was. So it's it's very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. Sorry about that. And it's kind of cool because the angle is better for. Anyway, it's the silly little things, isn't it? The silly little things that get you excited. So that's all good. And I do things in here because it's warmer. Because it's warm in here. Good morning, everybody. Oh, everyone's coming in. Got a few things to show you today. It's been such a full-on month already. I do not know where things have gone. Just letting you know, we are tracking through those Southlander orders. I think everything now from Tuesday is out, which is great, or close to being out. Tuesday was massive, absolutely huge. But we've got the team down there absolutely going for it down the back, and have been. So that is awesome. So we are ticking through those. So if you are waiting for your Southlander order, or actually, Madam might know. Do you know what day that they're down to out the back there? No, you haven't even got down there yet. Yes, but it is tracking along. So if you have got an order in, believe me, it is. We are working through it, but just taking a little bit longer than usual because there were so many. So we do appreciate your patience. As for me, oh gosh, I did like to think that I was organised this morning, but I wasn't. I was, but I wasn't. As for me, I have been working frenetically on my Shoji. I'm quite determined to get Shoji done and completed because I want to have it finished for Knit August Nights. It is my plan. It is my goal. It's a challenge that Ethan set me last year. Now, if you're wondering what the Shoji is that I'm talking about, it is a wrap cocoon cardigan designed by Nora Gowan, and it is beautiful. I think I've got a funny feeling. I definitely know someone in the Speakeasy knitted one last year when we were doing it, and I started it, and then I realised I wasn't going to get it done for Can because I kind of underestimated the amount of knitting in there. Not difficult, just a lot. It's a bit like those patterns that used to say patience required. It was one of those, and so then we had to postpone Can, so I kind of shelved it. And then I decided, no, I really do want to get this finished. So I forgot to bring this in to show you last week, but I have brought it in to show you this week because it's a lot of the same. So what I'm doing it in is, and I've got two very small scrabbly balls left. This is Whisper Fine in Aria, and this is Cozy in Cyan. The two colours are actually, from a dye perspective, are actually identical. They look slightly different, and the reason they look slightly different is because of the fibre that they're dyed over to. You can't really see that through the screen, but this is predominantly kid mohair. So kid mohair is a little bit like silk. You get this really, really beautiful sheen with it, which is what this has. And then, of course, the Cozy is just a 100% wool. The one thing, when you knit these two together, this is normally quite a rustic yarn, very akin to Southlander, but it's a really good everyday all-purpose yarn. I love these yarns. I personally have, I love Southlander, and I love Cozy and Snug as well. I just think they're amazing yarns that offer incredible value and allow you to create beautiful garments that just wear beautifully. By adding the Whisper Fine to it, it actually creates this beautiful soft fabric, like amazingly beautiful soft fabric. So this is it here. As you can see, it's this sort of slightly textured fabric. It's essentially it's a 3-row repeat it's a 6-row repeat, but it's 3 rows, and it's essentially a 1x1 rib for 2 rows, and then a plain row, and then you offset your 1x1 rib for 2 rows, and then a plain row. So, and that will go knit or purl depending on where you are along your transition. So you get this really, really fabulous texture, which is great. Now, this is sort of an origami style cardigan, so it's actually in terms of the folding. So this is one big piece of fabric, and as I mentioned before, I hadn't really. I started it and underwent it, and I was chugging along, and I'd gotten sort of, down, and I thought, I better see how long I need. They must be getting close now. Only to realise that it was actually 2.54 metres that I needed, which is a lot. So it's still going. So I think I got to about there before I popped it down, and we're still going, and we're still going. There we go. So that's where I'm at. So what I did do the other day is, I think it was Thursday I got to that point. I think I said to Thursday I hit the 2 metre mark. I remeasured it was actually 190. That little marker there is the 2 metre marker. So that's how much I got done across the weekend, in between everything else, and which may not seem a lot, but I just pick it up and do a few rows here and there. So that's how much I got done, which is I think it's about 18 odd centimetres. So I'm in the homeward stretch now, because once I get the 2.54 metres done, I fold it round, I sew it in a seam, and then I pick up stitches across one edge to do a 2x2 rib for about that much, which will, of course, after all of this, will be an absolute doddle. So that's where I'm at. I was trucking great guns. I did most of this yesterday. I was trucking great guns on this yesterday. Really going for it. Loving it. Really delighted with how things were going. I was like, woohoo, woohoo. I'm going to, I might get it, up 20, maybe 25 centimetres from the 2 metre mark, halfway to where I needed to be, setting the goals in my head. Took a break. Thought, get dinner on. Took a break, doing dinner, choppity, 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 choppity. Yeah. As they say in the movies, it's just a flesh wound, but it was a pretty decent flesh wound. So that's all right. Just as well, one has a doctor in the house, and he was able to, and I was cutting onions, and if you've ever cut yourself when you're cutting onions, it stings like a pig. It absolutely, and so there was lots of choice words, and I'm literally holding it like this, like squeezing it, like this, squeezing it super hard, because I knew the minute I let it go, it was, it was all on. And I was like, I'd been cutting onions, and I was also sauteing them as I was going. It was a thing. That's all right. But it did put paid to the knitting that evening, because it was actually quite sore, and I just needed to keep it up, whereas it feels fine today. So it's obviously healing and doing its jam. So I'm going to have a crack at doing some more of this tonight. But now that I can see an end in sight, I'm sort of really quite determined. Yeah, I love it, Pauline and Philippa. Yeah, Yauchi. Yeah, Yauchi wasn't the word that I used. Pauline, I used a much smaller word, and it wasn't ouch, Philippa. It was something else. It was, yes. Oh, man. The nice thing is that, well, the positive is that it was a very, very sharp knife. And if any of you here, and I was telling one of the girls that we work with here, who's actually a trained chef, the trick is if you're ever going to cut yourself, you cut yourself with the sharpest knife possible, because it should heal. And I think it will heal. Like already today, it's tickety-boo. So I was like, oh, for goodness sake. Especially when I'm trying to finish my knitting. It was very annoying. So that's the progress with the Shoji. The progress is happening. I am so determined to get that thing finished for Knit August Nights. You have no idea. I am very determined to get it done. So that is how things are progressing there. I am loving the double-stranded fabric. Really loving it. And I don't think we've placed enough emphasis on the double stranding with the fabric. We've got a Yume here in store, which is by who is that by? That is Isabel Kramer, and that is using sock petition with Whisper Fine. But the double stranding, particularly if it is a more rustic yarn, really does elevate those yarns into something really quite amazing. And the feel on that is just really quite incredible. So when I get that done and finished, and I'll wear it at can, I'll then bring it in here, and it will live in here as a sample. So if you ever visit, you can actually have a look at it. But I'm delighted because not only does it give this beautiful soft fabric, but there is also it maintains enough stitch definition you can actually still see what's going on. And so it really is, it is something that you think to yourself, oh, can I be bothered double stranding? It is actually worthwhile. And I know, as you can see, I'm covered in dog hair. I'm wearing my Love Note today, and this is done in Cove, just in straight Cove DK. But this originally was designed for a double stranded or a mohair project, and to be honest, it would look like if you had the cyan with the aria or the green with the verdant, which are both exact matches, and this would look incredible. There's the rosaline that will go with the I think it's called, what's the pink one in Snug called, Claire? Is it no, the pink one, coconut ice?
It's the pale pink.
Yeah. Oh, pale pink. Is it just called pale pink?
No, coconut ice is the pale pink.
Oh, it is coconut ice. Yeah, the coconut ice with the rosaline would look amazing. The champagne with actually cream rose would look really, really good. And it's actually a really beautiful way to get a double-stranded garment using the Whisper Fine, getting this beautiful fabric, but actually saving a bit of money at the same time because your other yarn is really affordable. So it is, it's really, really lovely. Little note on the Cove. We've been at the mill this morning, Claire and I. There's a whole heap of stuff to come over. Whole heap. Yes. Nudge, nudge. No, there was heaps there, and Cove was there. What else? There was a whole bunch of orb there as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's a bit of orb.
Bit of orb, bit of Cove.
New and exciting things.
Yes. Which I'm not going to tell them about, I promise, because I want to get them photographed. But there is new and exciting things coming.
I'll go and get it now.
Okay. All right. She's going to go and get it now. Yeah. What's exciting? We went over in my car, actually, and then we got there and we went, oh, we should have taken the truck. It's good, though. It's really great. So there's still loads coming through with the with Midwinter Stitchmas. So I've actually got, we bought some more yarns in. I've got some gorgeous alpaca yarns, which I've just landed. They're sitting, literally the bag is sitting right there to go up to photography. There's some more Southland and Mail prints, 3 new prints. So they'll be, I'm hoping that all of these I'll get this to you next week. There's a new 14 ply, just a limited edition 14 ply. Oh, and in fact, that was the color. I talked about that red the other day in the 10 ply, and I said I'd put it into another range, and I couldn't remember the range that I'd put it into. That was the range that I put it into. It looks amazing. In fact, I was just saying to Claire about this 14 ply. I felt it, and the label said, 100% wool. And I said to Claire, I think they've mislabeled this because it's way softer. I just feels like merino. It's anyway, we looked it up. No, it is 100% wool, but it feels freaking amazing, like merino soft. Amazing. It was so good. So that's coming. Yeah, it's great. Delane, have you built a wall between you and Claire? Yeah, well, I didn't build the wall. I quite like the wall. And then Madam did say to me this morning, she goes, I think I quite like this here. And they're going out today. So the wall will be dismantled today. The wall will be dismantled today because those are the DHLs that need to go out, and of course Claire was sick at the end of last week, and she's the one that does the DHLs, so they couldn't go out. So that's on her. So the wall is there, so she can't avoid it, so she can get them out today. It's a bit of work to get them out. So that's what's happening. What's the rug pattern, please? Jill's asking. Oh, you need to tell me what the rug is, Jill, and I can let you know. Right. Yes. So that's what's happening. I know. So much happening. And then Heather arrived at work today, and she's been knitting a little baby garment for a gift. and it is so freaking cute. And I said to Heather, give that to me here because I need to talk about it on the diaries. Look at that. Is that not the cutest thing you've ever seen? So this is all an orb, Blake, Polar, and Sand. And actually the Blake is one of the ones I saw over at Brown and Gage at the mill. And it's this new LisaF pattern. It's called Aspen. There's a few bits and bobs. Actually, we got a huge lot of LisaF in week before last. And this is it here. And one of the new ones. So this will be going up online. That's one of my jobs this afternoon, to get this up. But isn't that the cutest thing ever? So it's a little jumper and a hat. There's another really little gorgeous one with a beautiful little sort of fan edging. There are some really, really, really pretty patterns. So I'm going to get all of those up for you as well. But I just thought that was so cute. And it's actually, what I like about this is that it's really straightforward, and it's actually one of those really great designs. I mean, Heather just used up stuff from Stash that she had, and it's actually, that would be a cracking little stash buster sweater. It really, really good. Oh, the rug, you mean the sweater? Yes, what I'm knitting, it's not a rug. It's actually going to be a cardigan, Jill, and it's called Shoji, Shoji by Nora Gowan. So it's going to be a huge, big sort of cocoon cardigan. Yes, no, I'm all over the place this morning. I know, it's Monday. But this, I love this. I haven't knitted anything baby for ages, absolutely ages. And this just has such a wonder. I love the contemporary feel. I mean, could you imagine this? You know, this I think would look fabulous in is vintage abroad in those Kate Breton colours. So if you can imagine cadet blue there, eggshell there, and carmine up here, which is the red, wouldn't that look fabulous? I just think that would look so amazing. And you can play around with colours. If you had little leftover bits of some hand dye that you had, this, you know, I think that little pattern for using up bits and bobs is just absolutely cracking. So I will get that up this afternoon and listed. So it's called Aspen. So I can't give you a link for it because it's not up yet, but it is coming. It is coming. So it's so cute. So cute. And as I said, we've got lots of stuff that is still coming, as I said. So we've got, there's the new 14 ply coming. There's a whole bunch of different things. The other thing that's just literally arrived off the courier this morning, and they're sitting right here, and we haven't been able to get pom-poms from our usual supplier, but Karen down at Gore, at Bellbird, she makes these incredible possum pom-poms. So these are genuine brush-tail possum pom-poms, and I have bought from her some large ones, which are these ones there, and as you can see, they're a decent size. These are the small ones there. There's even smaller ones again, baby size, and I've got some key rings, and they look, oopsie, and I'll show you how they work. So the trick is for your hat, this is in case you don't know this actually, I'm going to let you know. So this is the hat there, that you may have a hat. What you do is if you sew a button on the inside of your hat, just here, like a little button, some pom-poms have elastic. These ones she does with lovely long strings. So you can have one of two options. Some people choose to, now I can't see it because my thumb is not working, sew them in. But I think what you're better to do is you can, I can't get it in there, but what you do is you pop that string through the other side, and then you can actually wrap it around your button, so then that way you can actually undo it. So then if you need to clean your hat, you can take your pom-pom off and your pom-pom doesn't get wrecked. So that's actually quite a good little tip if you're needing to do pom-poms. But I'm going to get these up this week, hopefully today if I get time, but if I don't, because I've got Clee's got to make codes for them, which I'm not allowed to do, because if I make they don't let me do things like that. Could you imagine if they let me do half the things that I'd want to do, the havoc I would create, which is why they keep me out of that system, because I'm a nightmare. I go in there and I go, oh, we could use this, and I think I'll change that. So they banned me from the system several years ago because I'm a tinkerer. I like to tinker. Yeah, funny that. So that I'm not allowed in there. That's why I hire Claire, because she's, she completes me and she does all the things that I don't do. And or she does she does all the things they won't let me do because I like to go in there and tinker stuff around. Anywho, but they will be coming this week and we're really excited about these. And they're beautifully made. So watch out for those. I'll pop a note out when they go live. So that will be loads of fun. Now, this morning, as you may have noticed, I did actually get my act together and finish up the newsletter really early. You're probably thinking, did Maree wet the bed? The newsletter's out super early. The reason I did it this morning, first thing, was because the design dropped over the weekend, and it did actually have a promo code on it, which finished on Sunday, which would have been Sunday Northern Hemisphere time. And in fact, you probably still could just sneak in with that. And it's called the Fernwood sweater. And it's a twofold thing that happened with us. And the first one is we got approached from a Skeinz customer who I hadn't realized does a lot of test knitting. And that is, and I've talked about Suyan before, so it's Suyante, otherwise known as the Dragon Knitter on Instagram. And she's beautiful work. So if you're an Instagram person and you want to follow somebody that really gets you quite inspired by gorgeous work, you have to follow Suyan. It's gorgeous. Her stuff is stunning. And she tested the Paul Klee sweater from Midori Hiroshi, which is where I first saw that. And it's gorgeous. So when she approached us and said, look, I'm doing a test for this sweater, and she'd noted that it used a yarn that we may have had, and it's actually a yarn that we intend to have made for ourselves, but not until next year. So we bounced some ideas backwards and forwards, and she sort of said, look, I think that this design would look amazing in this yarn. And she was right. It does look amazing in this yarn. So what I'm talking about is the Fernwood sweater. And this is it here. And it is from a designer called Tania Barley. I am embarrassed to say I wasn't aware of Tania up until this point. But as soon as I saw the sweater, I instantly was like, oh, gosh, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And she's designed this. So this sweater here is done in essentially our Kelly & Co., but the skinny version, the one, the full ply sort of sport weight version that we've been talking about in the singles. So we are looking at adding that into our mix from next year. So we don't actually have it yet. And as you can see, it looks incredible, right? So it was utterly amazing. So this is Suyan's version here. So she said to me, look, I'd love to do it in sock competition. So we bounced backwards and forwards with colour ideas, and we settled on Montagne and milk because we needed to gather enough contrast, because of course milk isn't white, it is a soft grey, and then you've got the small ebbs and flows with the Montagne and how that's dyed in that monochrome. And I just loved watching her posts as the sweater unfolded, and you have to say it looks incredible. The design is beautiful. There's all these lovely geometric designs across here. This is only two yarn color work. So if you're wanting to give some color work a go, and you've maybe done a little bit of work in the round, but you haven't really quite dived into color work yet, this actually would be lovely, because as I said, it's only two color work, which is a great way to start. But I love how it's also just done in these little sections here, because when you're working down something like this that's a little challenging in the sense that it's something a bit different, when you've got little portions and sections like that, you sort of, I don't know about you, but I find there's a sense of achievement. I'm like, oh, I finished to the end of that diamond or that peak or that leaf or whatever it may be. And then also too, the other thing I like, is she's also carried the colour work beyond the arm separation. often you will only have color work just in this portion here, and then it's plain down there. Whereas by carrying the color work on past the yarn separation onto the sleeves and to the torso, I think has created a really nice balance in this sweater. I really do think it is quite lovely. And with this being a woolen spun yarn that she'd originally designed it in, and this is one of the things that Shuyan and I talked about, was our concern is how do we translate this look back into this into the other yarn? And initially we talked about using Southlander, but at the time I didn't have the Southlander in stock that we liked. So because I think also if you're wanting to do this design, Southlander Sport would be incredible, or you could use Cozy as well. A Co 4-ply would also work. But when she suggested trying the Sock Mortician, I was like, actually, I'd really like to see how that works with that bloom. And it's, well, you can see how it worked. It is an utter triumph, an absolute triumph. So I wanted to feature this in the newsletter today. I put out the information on the sweater if you're keen to try it. She is using 3 different needle sizes. These obviously sometimes some people like to use different needle sizes across the color work. I just think it's stunning. I really do think it's utterly, utterly, utterly beautiful. So it's definitely, well, if you're wanting to pop something in your library and you're wanting to do some color work, worth checking out. That then also got me wanting to have a look at Tania. So when I jumped into Tania's profile, and this is it here, I mean, hello, love, 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 love. Isn't this utterly fabulous? So if you have just been lucky enough to buy Southlander and Southland sale, I pulled this one up straight away. Southland, she's done this as a double strand. We've just been discussing the double strands. So if you wanted to double strand Cozy with one of the other options we've just talked about, to do this as a DK sweater, or I've just done the cyan, amazing. But you could do that in Southlander oatmeal, utterly incredible. That's the Moorland cardigan. I love these foxes. This caught my eye. This was another one. She uses actually a little bit of Icelandic yarn for colour work. Southlander, again, Southlander DK would work incredibly in this. Look at that. Java green, a bit of bracken. You might need to, if you actually had a little bit of Spanish Bay from Co for the foxes, amazing. There are so many designs there that I just looked at and I thought, wow, these would translate so well into any of our yarns. There's another one for finer weight yarn. That one's called Brick Lane. Oh, there were just heaps, absolute heaps. This one here I loved because this goldenrod and cream, if you'd picked up some goldenrod and cream in the Southlander sale, would look amazing. So there, I love discovering a new designer that I wasn't aware of. So thank you, Siam, for letting me discover Tania, because I just thought it was utterly fabulous. I love these too. Simple. These, look at those fingerless mitts. Aren't they gorgeous? And that one's a freebie. Woohoo! Oh, I'm so going to download that one. It was a cracker. There's just plenty there to dive into and absolutely love. So if you're looking for some pattern inspiration that really translate well into our yarns, I think you need to favourite Tania Bailey, because she is an absolute cracker. Absolute cracker. I get very excited. I love discovering new designers like that. Good morning, everybody. Yeehaw. Woohoo! I know, it's a crazy old day, isn't it? I'm just trying to think, is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else today. Mondays around here are always so chaotic. But you know what? I love it. I love it. There's nothing, no 2 days are different. No 2 days are the same. That's what they say. No 2 days are the same. She's not here. She's gone. Good. I'm going to show you. Alpaca boucle. Coming soon. Very excited. Oh, and that's even before we get to the new range that's coming before the end of the month. so much excitement. So just a reminder, if you're waiting on a Southland order or any order, if it was placed from Tuesday onwards, as I mentioned, there is a delay just due to sheer volume, but they are going hammer and tongs out there to get those out. So we do, appreciate your patience on this. And also, too, if you may have seen that we are looking for someone to come and work with us here at Skeinz HQ. So there is actually a job out. It's on the Facebook page, and there's a link there for an application. So do you still have a chance to get an application in for that as well? And that is sort of for a customer care superstar to help Claire and I just sort of get through the sheer volume of everything that has now, as we grow. This is growing pains. It's fun though. We're really looking forward to it. So if you are local and you think you want to come and join the Skeinz team, do check out that listing. And if you think that's you, pop it in an application and we will have a look and see whether there is a fit. So that would be wonderful. All right. I need to get moving because I've got a million one things to do. So you take care. I will talk to you guys again on Thursday. But until then, have a great rest of week and happy knitting. Bye.